hidden inputs. So we talked about how if I have a, now this is going to represent the browser, right? If I have a form, I can have a bunch of input, I can have select, right? I can have, checkbox, radio, all of those with the name. Anything with the name, right? All of that gets packaged in a T-diagram where this is post, and, all of this gets populated and gets sent, right? Okay, so we talked about this. But what if, but a lot of time, all these input forms are shown visibly on the browser. For example, if this is name, then there's going to be a name where they do it. If it is a select, it's going to have a drop-down menu. If it is checkbox, it's going to have a checkbox. What if I need to pass information that's not, and I don't want to make it visible? Then what do I do? Well, that's where you use a hidden input. So let me give you an example. So let's say that you have a Facebook page, or this is your app, and it shows the picture of the friend. This is your friend. Sorry that your friend's looking a little ugly. And then, you just want to have accept friend, right? You don't want like, hey, please do a drop-down menu and choose the ID of your friend. Like, come on, like, make it easy. I just want to click. Or you don't want to have an input type text and say, please, type in their ID and click on accept, right? Like, what's going on, right? You want to put this. So in that case, what you want to do is you will have a form, right? And you will have input type hidden because you don't want to show this. And then you also give it a name because anything with the name, it gets sent to this post, right, that we talked about. So let's say here you want to have maybe the friend ID as the name. And then you put a value and you say 35. And when you submit this, then it will put together a post that looks like this, friend ID 35, and then it gets sent to whatever you told it to go. Okay, so that's where you use, there are a lot of cases where you'll want to do things hidden. Let's maybe talk about another example where, let's say next to this one, you wanted to buy a product. So talked about, let's say you want to buy a dojo t-shirt. You want to buy, right? Well, I'm not going to ask you to put in the price because then if it is an input type text and you adjust the price, maybe you'll buy a bunch of them for 1 cent, and that I'll lose a lot of money. So what would you do? How would you want to do it if you show a nice picture of the dojo t-shirt and you just have a buy button, right? And then it just orders one dojo t-shirt. How would I know how much to charge? So one way is I can do it the bad way where I have the form, and here I have input type hidden because I don't want you to, I want to hide it, and then name is price. And I can say value is $19.99, okay? Then if I do it this way, then it will create this price and then $19.99. Well, all of this is very easily manipulatable. One easy way is I do inspect element, I double click, I find this, and I double click on this, and I change it to 0.01, and you're done. Now you can buy it for 1 cent. And maybe you deserve to buy this for 1 cent because I was so stupid to put something sensitive in the hidden, right? But in this case, if I was smarter, I could have put in, maybe instead of price, I put product ID. And maybe my t-shirt has a value of 1,001. And then once this gets passed, then I look at the database and 1001 product price is $19.99. So you can change it, 1002, and maybe you'll get a dojo sweater that's $39.99. And that's not my fault, right? You manipulated and you bought something more expensive. So anyway, when you do this, a lot of times you don't have, just think at a high level, take a step back and say, what are the information I need in the hidden? But as you think about this exercise, right, post and session, it's very easily, people can access it. So as you do the assignments, but just think about whether you're storing things that people can manipulate. But don't over worry about it, but these are some things to have in mind. But anyway, the video here was really more to explain why hidden inputs are used all the time, right? And hopefully this give you gave you some example of when it's used and why you should really study it. Session post, sending information over form, routing. Almost all websites are just built purely off of that. And soon you will learn how to connect to the database. You can build anything you can think of when you just put these together. These are the building blocks of web application. Okay? All right.